Okay, hello. So, I haven't seen one of these in a while. You know, it's been oh man, I'm gonna look it up right now. How long has it been since I've done a Jabmaster Radio? How long has that been? Um, let's see. I have to scroll down pretty far to find it. Here we go. February 10th, 2024. So it has been over a full year since I have done a Jabmaster Radio broadcast. But we're back. We got the classic Persona 5 logo, and it's annoying me that the take your time is slightly moved up. There you go. There we go. So we've got the classic Persona 5 spinning thing that I used to use for like every single stream. And I even brought back Not Reggie from the Rocket Power stream, which I just remembered I never did a Rocket Power stream this year. I missed out on the most important day of the year, Rocket Power Day. I missed out on Rocket Power Day. How could I have done that? How could I have missed out on Rocket Power Day? Anyway, so we're back again with Jabmaster Radio. So let's kick things off, shall we? So of course the playlist is randomized, as most radio is. Or is it randomized? No, it's randomized on my end. But the first song, I do know the first song. So in was it 2009? A movie called Coraline released. I'm sure many of you know it. And along with it, a video game got released by D3. And this you think a soundtrack for a game based off a movie is not going to be that interesting, and most aren't. But the Coraline video game soundtrack really, really expertly portrays what the soundtrack the film was going for. It's a very nice, that kind of vibe, and once you start listening to it, you'll go, oh wow, that's a Coraline song. It really just perfectly fits. So this is Outside. It's just Outside because that's when you're outside, from Coraline. So that was Outside from the Coraline PS2 game, PS2 and Wii. If you're looking to buy Coraline on PS2 or Wii, well, you're going to have to spend over $100 for the Wii version and over $200 for the PS2 version. So it's not an easy game to find. But, you can emulate it, and that's what I do. I used to have the PS2 version way back when. A friend gave it to me, and it's a good game. I have some good memories with it, but, once I found out how much I could get for it, well, I instantly sold it in favor for emulation. But it's just a really great song. It's like perfectly encapsulates what the film was going for. So our next song up is going to be a Siva Gunner song. I've included some in here, just some to kind of throw in. They're catchy songs. They're all good. That's the whole point, is that all of them are good, in my opinion. So the Siva Gunner song that's going to be coming up is Dating Start Steam version from Undertale. So maybe you can guess immediately what song this actually is. But here we go. So if you couldn't catch what that was Cooking by the Book from Lazy Town. Gotta love a good Siva Gunner song just to throw in there. But yet again, that was Dating Start's Steam version from Undertale. If you want to listen to a Undertale sounding version of Cooking by the Book, there you go. It's catchy. I really like Cooking by the Book, but both the instrumental and the lyrical version. Lazy Town's got some good songs. So next up, we have got a song from Sonic Rider Zero Gravity. So I love Sonic Rider Zero Gravity, and the music is just fantastic. But pretty much the entire soundtrack has got tons of great songs thrown in. And this one's no exception. This is Sealed Ground. So this is the stage set in the Babylon Temple. And this is the one where you play as Knuckles in the hero's side. I don't know who you play as in the Babylon. It might be Storm. Anyway, great song. So let's do it. So once again, that was Sealed Ground from Sonic Rider Zero Gravity. Again, just fantastic soundtrack. If we don't get to any more songs from Sonic, well, I usually like to do one per game during these Jabmaster Radio. So, look up the soundtrack on your own. Just fantastic soundtrack. And while you're at it, play the game. It's a fantastic game. Even on Wii. You think the motion controls would hinder it, but playing it with the Wiimote on its side, using the D-pad to move, perfect. No issues. Anyway, so what we have up next is, it's a classic. Oh, it's a classic. Work It Out from Sonic R. So, Sonic R soundtrack, I'm sure many of you know it fondly at this point in time, with how just common that it is nowadays. And this song plays in the factory stage. I think it's called Reactive Factory, which is the fourth race in the game. So yeah, just a wonderful soundtrack of Sonic R. I'm so glad that nowadays people actually go, hey, this soundtrack is actually really good and really catchy, and I love it. And I'm so glad that it's getting the love that I think it deserves. It's cheesy, of course. It's definitely cheesy, but I think it's fully worth just the praise that it's getting nowadays. Because, of course, but back then, back when it released, and of course, early 2010s YouTube, when Sonic hate was just all over the place, tons of people were just saying, soundtrack's terrible, it doesn't fit the Sonic game. But it's lovely, and I love it. So let's listen to it.
We all
So, once again, that was Work It Out from Sonic R, if you couldn't tell from, from the roughly 30 seconds of them just repeating the same line over and over again. So something kind of interesting, it's mildly interesting, at least for me, is I had to look at the box art that entire time while I was listening to the song. And I like how Sonic's shoe and arm goes outside of the border for the Sega Saturn box. Kind of like that. It's neat. Not a lot of games do that. Not a lot of Sega Saturn games went outside the border. Anyway, so our next song up is, well, it's a song that I'm pretty sure half, 3/4 of the population know at this point. It is the Tetris theme, of course. But this one's a little bit different. This one is from Tetris Splash, which makes it 10 times better because it's water related. See, that's the main difference between Tetris and Tetris Splash. Is one is set underwater and it costs $5, which makes it infinitely better. But this version that's included in Tetris Splash, it's a jazz arrangement, and it's super catchy, and I have a lot of nostalgia for it because this was whenever I first got my 360 in my room. I quickly looked up some games, and I saw Tetris Splash was $5, and I said, sure, let's get Tetris Splash. It's Tetris. Why not? So, yeah, this is the Tetris theme, but a jazz arrangement from Tetris Splash. You know, one of the drum beats for the first like 30 seconds of that song kind of sounds like a ticking clock, and I always used to think about that whenever I was playing the game. I also used to think about how the whenever you drop whenever you get a line or something, you know, a single line, double, it's always a woman whispering in your ear, and I don't know why they decided to choose that. It was very odd, but I mean, added to the jazz, it sort of fits. Anyway, so that was the classic Tetris theme from Tetris Splash, the best version of Tetris, of course. So, sorry, I had to get through a YouTube ad. It's the first one of tonight. So, the next song is from a game that's getting a remake soon. It's Persona 4. It's the Junez theme for Persona 4. The original Persona 4. I don't really know if it's differentiated, but this one just says Persona 4. So, I think it's the exact same. I've played through Persona 4 and Golden multiple times, and I'm pretty sure it's the exact same Junez song. But it's funny how, you go through a playlist and you know exactly when you added this. And I know exactly when. It was when I was really playing Golden. When I was really sinking my teeth into Golden, late 2018, early 2019. And that was a fun time. Brought it to school. Played it a ton on the bus. Really got far in that game. But I never beat it. Never beat it. I've gotten pretty far in multiple different playthroughs of Golden, but I've never finished Golden. So, definitely need to do that. Anyway, so this is the Junez theme from Persona 4. I had a friend in high school that he was learning Japanese, and one of the first things he learned was the Japanese version of that jingle. The jingle in the U.S. is "Everything's great at your Junez." I know I'm a terrible singer, but and you can hear that in the song. The da 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 da. And I don't know what I forgot what the Japanese version of the jingles sounds like, but what the lyrics are, but that was one of the first things that he wanted to learn, was that little jingle. So good for him. I'm sure at this point in time he's probably learned a lot more Japanese. Anyway, so what we have up next is a song that sounds funny, and it's got a couple of funny lines in there. And maybe you can guess it by just this one line, but some people miss the benefits that stereo can provide. So if you know that line, you immediately know what song this is. But it's a Super Nintendo game. This is the title theme for Top Gear 2 on the Super Nintendo. Not Top Gun 2. There was a Top Gun 2 on the NES. Anyway, that's beside the point. Title theme for Top Gear 2.
might be missing some of the benefits that stereo can provide.
You know, when they were talking about stereo, they weren't kidding. My left ear was really loving that bass. I got the line a little bit wrong, but you get the gist. I've always wondered, you know, is that based off of, is Top Gear 2 the game based off of the show, or is it just its own, own entity? Is Top Gear maybe a common phrase that, I only know because from the show? Anywho, so what we have up next is an ad for T-Mobile. So, give me a second. Okay. Ooh, okay, we're going to skip this one. What showed up next is Another Winter from Scott Pilgrim. Every single time I show that song, I get copyright claimed, so let's just move on. I've had to mute it from every single time that I've had to put it in. I don't know what it is with them, but they really like just copyright claiming and blocking it in certain countries just for using Another Winter from Scott Pilgrim. Anyway, the actual next song is Put the Hurt on Him from a regular show, Just a Regular Game. So Just a Regular Game is kind of the app version of multiple Flash games that were on CartoonNetwork.com. Now they aren't anymore, which is awesome. I think it's like a great way to actually preserve some of these games. It included, Destroy the Destroyer, which just tons of memories. I have tons of memories too. Both ones I have a ton of memories of playing on, after school on CartoonNetwork.com. But yeah, this is Put the Hurt on Him. I stopped it there. There was already 2 loops of the song, and then the YouTube video that I have goes on for like another 30 seconds. Anyway, you can always tell when a song is recorded from the Flash version because the audio is really crusty. But it's still a good song. You can still you can still get the gist of what the song is. Nevertheless, So the next song coming up is another Sonic song. I know there's a lot of them, but it's one per game. And the Sonic series is just known for incredible soundtrack, and this is one of them. Sorry, that's very downplaying it. This is a Sonic game that not a ton of people talk about, but everybody, whenever you seem to bring it up online, this is what they mention. They mention Sunset Park Act 3 from Sonic the Hedgehog Triple Trouble. So this is the one that just instantly, when you talk about Triple Trouble, nobody talks about the gameplay, because let's face it, it's not the greatest. It's got a lot of flaws. Everybody just says, "Oh, that's the one where Sunset Park Act 3. that's that game, right?" And for good reason. This is a super catchy song. Doesn't fit that well. The boss that this is in is a chase sequence where you're chasing a train. You're on the top of a train. You're chasing to get to the front of the train. So whether you think that's really a good fit for the song, I guess that's up to you. But nevertheless, this is Sunset Park Act 3. A very, very short loop on that one. But yeah, again, if you want to check out Triple Trouble, it's on Sonic Origins. Not, like I said, not the greatest game. There's a really annoying gimmick that they added where Sonic, if you jump off a spring, you jump off like you do in every Sonic game past Sonic 1, I guess, where you're actually, you're not in a ball whenever you get off the spring. But they add in a gimmick where you have to press the jump button after you hit a spring, and then you'll go into a ball. And some bosses require you to use that, and it's a very finicky gimmick that rarely works. It's pretty annoying to pull off. Most of the bosses in the game are not great. The late release Game Gear game, I think 94, I think. Anyway, so again, that was Sunset Park Act 3. And the next song that we have up is another Sonic game. I'm sorry, I know that, I'm sure there is somebody here that is like, stop it with all the Sonic songs. And, like I said, I do one song per game, and this is another great Sonic song. It's just they all have a common theme. But this is Rusty Ruins Act 1 from Sonic 3D Blast on Sega Genesis. Specifically the Sega Genesis version. I have my issues with the Sega Saturn version. of the soundtrack. But yeah, it's Rusty Ruins Act 1. Man, whatever your opinions on Sonic 3 Blast are, you gotta admit that song was great. I love that transition from when the loop ends and the loop starts, that the drum beat. Love that. I love it. And I think that music, perfectly fits a Ruins setting. I don't know who did the soundtrack. I'm sure it was somebody at Traveler's Tales because they developed the game. They did a just absolutely fantastic job with the soundtrack for Sonic 3D Blast. Alright, so next up we have another YouTube ad, so give me a second. Okay, so our next song is a Mega Man song. It's about time. It's about time that we got around to a Mega Man song. And this is Galaxy Man from Mega Man 9. So, Mega Man 9, I definitely have my issues with it. But Galaxy Man is a top-notch theme song. Probably my favorite song from Mega Man 9. So yeah, this is Galaxy Man from Mega Man 9. I went ahead and stopped it there. This upload goes on for 3 minutes, so I think that's 4 loops of the song, and I feel like 2 is enough to really get the gist. But yeah, Mega Man 9, known for being the most challenging, I think the most challenging classic style Mega Man game. But yeah, at least you're listening to this awesome song while you are constantly dying over and over and over and over again, and slowly losing the will to live. But hey, you got some awesome music, so there you go. So next up, we have got oh, you're gonna love this one. It's another Sonic song. Keys the Ruin from Sonic Adventure 2. This is the song that plays during Pyramid Cave. And it's another great Sonic song. You're gonna love them. This is just something that I guess you gotta get used to. Sorry, non-Sonic fans, but it's a great song. So there you go. I always wondered why the song is called Keys the Ruin. Wouldn't it be called Keys to the Ruin? Or Keys to the Ruins? I mean, Keys the Ruin. Maybe it's a pun. Maybe it's a pun that I have no idea. Anyway, next song that will be up is from a very, very little known game called Inspector Gadget Racing. Who would think that a game called Inspector Gadget Racing, a very poorly made racing game, made by a company that I don't think even develops stuff anymore, LSD Interactive? I don't think they even develop games anymore. Would have a really, really catchy main menu music. Who would have guessed? So this is, of course, the main menu theme from Inspector Gadget Racing. Okay, I'm not sure. I think that YouTube upload had a sound effect play. It didn't come from my computer, but I freaked out because I thought it came from outside. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just hearing things. Maybe I'm going insane in me old age. Anyway, so yeah, to think, the one good thing that came from Inspector Gadget Racing was that main menu theme. Don't play the game. Don't bother. It's a really poor 3D kart racing game on the GBA. Most of those are not great. There's a few that kind of rise. Nicktoons Racing was pretty good. I personally like Cartoon Network Speedway, despite a lot of people hating it, and I understand why. But next up, we have another ad. So give me a second. This one's US Cellular. Okay. So this song, it's pretty obvious. I'm going to stop mentioning that it's from a Sonic game anymore. I'm just going to not. Because, I mean, all these songs are great. It doesn't matter what game, franchise they're from. But this is Back to Back from Sonic Rush, developed by Hideki Nakamura. So it's famously known for Jet Set Radio, famously known for having Peter Griffin as his profile picture on Twitter for like a year and a half. This is Back to Back.
Back to back, and spinning on it back to back, on the turntables back to back, and spinning on it back to back, on it back to back, and spinning on it back to back, on the turntables back to back, and spinning on it back, on the turntables back, on it spinning on it back to back, and spinning on it back to back, on the turntables back, spinning on it and spinning on the turntables back.
I feel as if you were going to show anybody one song from Sonic Rush, that's probably the best one to choose. Because there's a ton of great songs in there, but some of them can be very annoying, I totally understand why. I kind of forget some of the titles because some are obvious, like back to back, and then others are just like, I don't know, some random name that Hideki probably thought when he was, bored. But that's like probably one of the best songs to choose. And of course, that level is also in Sonic Generations on 3DS because people love it so much. Maybe it'll come back at some point, another Sonic game. I really hope so because it's a great stage. Anyway, next up, we have got... Hey, finally a Persona 5 song. We've got this Joker spinning gif. He's just been pondering for an hour trying to figure out when the first Persona 5 song is going to be shown here, and we finally got it. This is Tokyo Emergency from Persona 5. So this is when you first finally get to... Actually, one of the comments is great. It's like the theme of finally being free to do whatever you want, which is perfect because it's the first time that you're outside of cutscenes and you can actually walk around on your own. You're not... It's just constant cutscenes for a while, and then this is the first time where you can actually finally walk around. But given that it's called Tokyo Emergency, it's still kind of scripted because you're chasing after On in this scene. But it's a really catchy song, and it's one that, you'll listen to when you first play Persona 5, and you won't get it out of your head for until the next catchy song comes in, which luckily isn't too long. I love the Persona 5 sound font so much. The second you hear those guitars and those pianos, you're like, that's a Persona 5 song. It's just so recognizable. It's absolutely incredible. I think JonTron, actually, he recently... okay, I say recently, but it was about like a year ago. He played through Persona 5 and just constant tweet after constant tweet about how much he loved the soundtrack. I think one tweet said I love how Persona 5, the Persona 5 soundtrack comes with a free game inside. So good for him. It took him until 2024 to actually play Persona 5. Then again, it took me until 2023 to first really finish Persona 5. So, yeah. Next up, we've got another YouTube ad. I'm just happy that it hasn't played a ton YouTube ads. We've got a stage that was included in Sonic X Shadow Generations. It's Kingdom Valley from Sonic the Hedgehog, widely renowned as one of the worst Sonic games ever made, which I don't agree with, but one of the worst Sonic games ever made with one of the best Sonic soundtracks ever made, and I can agree on that. Sonic 06 soundtrack is just adored to death, and I'm really glad it is. So this is Kingdom Valley. I wanted to stop it there because the uploader has it for 6 minutes, and we listened to it for 4.5, and I feel like that's plenty enough. Not that it's a bad song, but I do like the kind of speed of the pace. Definitely one of the longer Sonic songs to actually not loop. I'm pretty sure it loops after that. But yeah, 4.5 minutes of not loop, completely unique. Cool. It's a great song. So what we've got up next is we got a little Christmassy themed one here. It's a little Christmas themed. I know we're out of the holiday season, but it's a great song and it's from a great game, and I want to include it. So this is Winter's theme from Earthbound. Man, my right ear was loving those drums. Sorry to say there was only 2 Earthbound songs in this entire playlist, and we might not even get to the second one. The second one is Own It. I do like Earthbound. I have just not played a lot of it. I don't know where I found Winter's theme from and why I wanted to include it. I wanted to include it because it's a great song, but I don't really know where I found it. Obviously, Own It, it's one of the first songs you hear in Earthbound when you actually get to move around. So, of course, I know about that. But I need to play more of Earthbound. I have it on my Wii U. It's sitting there on my Wii U. I've had it for years. Probably since 2017, 2016. It's been a while. And it's just been lingering there. I need to get around to it. I know I do. So, let's see what we got next. We have the opening theme to the original Spyro game. So not the Reignited Trilogy. This is the OG sound font of Spyro the Dragon, the original one. Used to have that physically. Sucks that I sold it. Anyway. So yeah, this is the opening theme to the original Spyro. going to stop it there. The uploader has it for another minute and a half, and I think it's looped enough times. I know that people are going to hate me for this, but most pre-Skylanders Spyro songs are not that memorable for me. I just never really gelled with the music. It's good songs, don't get me wrong. They are good songs. They're just nothing that I would really listen to on a regular basis, and it's great to listen to them in the levels, but not something that I'd go out of my way to listen to. But this one, that one in particular, the opening theme, that is just so catchy. And I love it so much. So next up, we have got... This will be good for a radio setting. There was a little known game called Coffee Talk. It was an indie game. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't really play much of it. I played the demo, and on the demo is this song called Calming Drizzle. And I fell in love with the song. Didn't fall in love with the game. I played a little bit more of the demo. I just couldn't really get into it that much, but I did fall in love with this song, and I listened to it over and over again. So this is Calming Drizzle from Coffee Talk. Calming indeed. I have a pretty good memories of listening to that on the bus ride, and looking at the date of the video, the original, the song, January 2020. So I probably listened to that before schools were canceled for that year, or semester, I guess. But I've only got a lot of good memories of listening to that on the bus, and I'm pretty sure I've fallen asleep to that song on more than one occasion. It's just And with how late it was getting, I'm pretty tired too. I think we'll do a few more songs and then we'll call it a wrap for tonight. So the next song is gonna be, well, currently right now it's a Pringles ad, so give me just a second. So the next song is of a game I've Let's Played before. Before you say anything, no, it's not a Sonic song. This is from Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi Kaznapt, the one good Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi game out of the... Oh, there's only two. Okay, I thought there was three. Well, technically there was three. There's actually a sequel to this that got canceled. Anyway, so this is World 4 Desert Island from Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi Kaznapt. I love the soundtrack to Puffy Amiyumi Kaznapt. It is funny because it's developed by Ultron, and Ultron, they not Ultron, Altron, very clever with naming their company. They use like the exact same sound font on every single handheld game that they made around the same time. So if you've played the Danny Phantom GBA games, the sound font is the exact same. If you've played Phineas and Ferb, the DS games, the sound font is the exact same. Nicktoons Attack of the Toy Bots, all of it, the exact same sound font. You can instantly recognize it. for any of the games that they've developed. This is kind of funny. So next up, I think this may be the last song of the night. We have got, well, I guess it's fitting. We're going to end with a Sonic song. And it's also fitting that it comes from my favorite game ever made, or my favorite game that's ever been made, and my favorite Sonic game that's ever been made. Of course, we're talking about Sonic Generations, and we're going to end it off with Planet Wisp Act 2. So thank you all for listening. After this song, I'm just going to end the stream.